This is a very interesting story, and as soon as I've started speaking, so has the cat. There she goes. And she is not in the best of mood. We have cat number 3 who has joined us only this week. Everyone is a little dishevelled, so you're going to hear her. She's the same one that is always making noise. This is Tab. Tab, say hi. Anything else you want to say? No, she's growling, she's grizzling, she isn't neutered, and she is distracting us from your money right now. So don't blame me for talking about my cat on the line. Blame the fact that you have the Blindspot card, which is the Ace of Swords, and the Money Heist card, which is the Knight of Pentacles. The Ace of Swords is in the action position. You need to get clear. We need to get clear today. Tab, tell him. Tell him again. There you go. Hope you can hear her. She's telling you it is time. She is fragile because someone out there is fragile. Financially, there is a money heist that cannot be seen. Now, why this is so interesting to me is because the Moon card is present. And it's even more interesting because the Moon card is present in the future position. The now moment is the King of Pentacles. The past is the Queen of Wands. I feel like I'm dealing with a feminine, but I could be dealing with a masculine who is in his feminine element, yeah? I really want to hone in on that feminine element. Because if you've seen the TV show Blindspot, you'll also know that Jane, the Jane Doe, she's not your average female in the story. She's in masculine vibration. She's a bad bitch, gangster, savage. She's been set on a very secret, higher level operation. She's in mission. She is on job, tasked to deliver, whilst also having amnesia. And then with that kind of energy, we have Money Heist, which is the obstacle, the challenge, and the mission. Why I like these readings and my TV tarot is you never know what you're going to get in the deck. There's 78 cards in the deck, all standard tarot, but with TVs and movies on the cover. 2 cards we've pulled for this. And they're very similar. Money Heist. We've got a heist going on. Blindspot episode 1 starts with Jane coming out of a bag in the middle of Times Square with no memory, completely naked, with her memory wiped, and everyone surrounding the bag thinking it's a bomb. They've called Bomb Squad in to analyse what the fuck's in the bag. Yeah? There's a lot that you haven't seen. Moreover, right, listen to this, because this is a channeled reading, I am clairvoyant. There's a lot others haven't seen. Oh my gosh. I'm connecting with someone who is the bag, yeah? Because I'm getting, you are the bag. I feel like I am connecting with a strong, powerful, feminine energy, male or female feminine energy. So I'm talking about someone who has been in moon energy, yeah? Divine feminine, male or female, divine feminine, moon energy, sorceress. And I say sorcery a bit too much on this channel lately, and I never mean it in a dark way, so I should probably clear that up, because when we talk about wizards and warlocks and dark and light and all these eras of vampiric dark energies, because witchcraft is so wrapped in that, I never see that. I go alchemy with it. And I go more like 11 from Stranger Things than I go some evil warlock. Do you get what I mean? Because 11 from Stranger Things isn't a dark, demonic, evil character. But she goes to darker places because of the fight that she's had to carry, and her aura and energy is quite heavy and dark sometimes because of the character she has to take on. Also, a great example of that is the boy in Stranger Things, the other main character, who can see through the eyes of the evil. And he suddenly becomes taken over. Some of the kids in Stranger Things, their eyes roll back in their heads and suddenly they can see inside of the fucking demon, right? That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about the fact that a lot of people have been blinded from seeing because they didn't want to look at what they thought was dark, what they thought was oppressive. A lot of victory and a lot of pride and ego, a lot of stubbornness, yeah, stems from victory, should I say. A lot of pride, ego and stubbornness stems from victory. When someone is incredibly successful or somebody wins, others will be jealous because it's a situation of, why wasn't that me? Well, how did you get that? How did you manage to achieve that? I want that. It's immediately, why isn't that me? Why do you get that? Why did they win? And it's not an absolute level of hatred or resentment or anything like that, but it genuinely is that instinct in some characters. The earth angels will go, wow, you've done amazing, and genuinely be proud. But a lot of people will fucking hate when you're successful. And we're looking at somebody here who is covered in success, dripping in gold, jewels, jewelry, success, looking amazing and fantastic. They don't know it. You don't know it. You're rich, you don't know it. You're successful, you don't know it. You're intuitive, intelligent, gifted, masterful, amazing. You don't know it. What's beautiful is here, somebody else knows it. Somebody else knows it, and they are making it clear they know it. It's really, really hard to align to and meet someone who values you because like attracts like. So it's taken you a very long time to get to this place in your life where you're heading towards now, because you can't see what you can't see. You can't attract, sounds stupid, what you can't attract. Yeah? Love attracts love, like attracts like. The moon attracts the moon. The lack of sight attracts the lack of sight. The naivety attracts more naivety. Yeah? It's your ability to stand in the light and own who you are and possess those gifts and qualities with no airs and graces and stand firm. Be the pillar in the room, right? And until you can outrightly do that, others won't be aware of your strength, who you are, what you exude and what you're doing. And what's gorgeous, and this gives me the Rosalind Franklin story. I think that's how you say it. Rosalind Franklin, who died in her late 30s, I believe, who discovered some important elements of DNA, but she never made it to Nobel Prize. The men who followed her work on afterwards, using some of her early findings, received a Nobel Prize. She died before she got there. She was so advanced, she left a lot of that work to the side and decided to focus on higher level pieces. And a lot of me looks back at that life and legacy of hers and goes, wow. A lot of people will say she was dumb and stupid for not going down the clouty route and doing the white paper and putting her findings out on the front line. She didn't want it. She was transfixed. She wanted to go down her route, her philosophy, her thesis. She was following the gap in the market, the gap in the research, the gap in the literature. She was doing the research. When you're a philosopher and a researcher, an entrepreneur, yeah, an inventor, creative, an actor, a director, right? Movie stars, I get producers, executive producers, directors. You're looking for something. A lot of us are latent learners. A lot of us don't move. A lot of us need, like now I'm getting in my head the vision of like a black room, a drama studio, and everyone's just putting on props and everyone's wearing black and it's a mime act. And everyone's wearing those masks with the white faces. In drama school back in the day, which was one of my favourite lessons that I actually decided to show up for. The other lessons I would bunk, but drama I would put the marijuana down for a bit and join in. And in those moments, it's improv. and you're wearing a mask and you're taking on a character and you're doing role play, and there's all this space and it's all dark and we're all doing mime acts and we're all wearing black, and it's really, really fascinating concept. And there's all this characterization. A lot of us, especially in the spiritual realm, when we're manifesting and we have all these unique spiritual beliefs, and we're doing our shamanic stuff, or we're reading tarot, or we're doing a powwow or light language or saging, smudging, whatever spiritual stuff we do, hugging trees, grounding our feet in mud, chakra work, energy frequency healing. We can go all day, salt baths, picking flowers, whatever that element of healing is for us. We are engrossed in the experience, yeah? So we're talking to somebody who is really, really powerful in their own circumference. Introvert, hermit, welcome aboard, hit like and subscribe. Spends a lot of time doing your own thing. You don't need the outside world. You don't need confirmation. God and you work well together. You could be a mechanic, I get in my head, but you never qualified and you don't practice or work for anyone else, and you could fix 1,000 things, but you don't bother. I say mechanic as in actual car mechanic, but in my head now that opens up to solutions architect and being a field engineering, mechanics of all kinds, solutions architect, designer, creative, yeah? What is gorgeous about this is the evolution of your team, your people, your trade, your craft. Because what I see coming up in the Money Heist card, with it being in the mission challenge position, is you are really starting to develop a root chakra grounding allegiance. Yeah? Those that are moving forward with you, Professor, yeah, are golden. They know who they are. They stand with you. They stand beside you. And it is honor, oath, integrity, respect, humility, word of the week over here. It's beautiful. Everyone in this story is unique. They've got their own job, their own reason why they're doing what they're doing. I'm getting a story in my head playing out over and over again. They're like, tell them that story, tell them this story, tell them this story. Because I only just told the story 2 days ago, which is a weird thing for me to discuss. So this is how we pull on synchronicity from the divine. Very brief story of why this is significant and why this is significant for you, but specifically share your story like this in the comments. They're letting me know you will have a story like this. If this resonates for you, the story I'm about to tell you, that aha moment, is out there for you. In 2021, when I was really deep in this discovery, so we're looking at that Rosalind Franklin researcher brain again. We're studying, we're analysing, we're the entrepreneur, we're the researcher, we're the philosopher, we're the innovator, we're building something, we're the engineer, we're the developer, we're the coder. We're creating something that's important to us. We've been doing it for years. 2021, I'm in the thick of the research, but in that window of time, I'm taking a little time to be a shaman, to live life, and I'm dating a little bit. I end up dating a guy who shares his business with me and what he's building, and he starts opening up about it. In that moment where he shared what he was doing with me, I had a bit of a nerdy freak out moment, which I do. I don't know if he saw it as that. I don't know if he even understood what I was talking about in the moment. He was nodding and saying, yeah. He was excited. He was asking me to do 100 million things after that when he realised I was a super nerd. But he shared his business with me, and it was beautiful because in the moment he started to identify what he was doing, he was talking about Web3, and he was talking about decentralization, and he was talking about it from a really unique stance and standpoint. And at that window of time in my life, and it was like summer 2021, it was another confirmation. I'm shamanic, so I believe in synchronicity. I was connecting with a lot of people at that time who were doing their own unique things that were slowly leaking into the Web3 era. But he, without even really knowing it, was sitting on a humongous piece of decentralization in Web3 of his own making. Very unique, very different to anyone else and what they were doing, very different and unique to me, yet we were still all connected because we were still all in the Web3 space. We were all still in the decentralization space. And it was beautiful because it showed me one and the same. Because I could understand and I could talk to him. He wasn't talking back in hindsight and reflection, because I don't really need anyone to talk back. Check out all my tarot readings. I can go for hours just talking to me. But in my mind just lit up. I'm seeing the systemization. I'm seeing the synchronicity. I'm seeing the evolution of Web3 with everybody I meet at this point. Because I'm connecting with social media influencers online in every aspect of my life, from the research I've been doing. Everyone seems to be falling into puddles of Web3 and decentralization without realizing it. And he's just proved that to me on a date. And my kind of date is sitting there doing fucking nerdy Web3 DC shit. So although we're trying to have some kind of romance or something, we're now balls deep in systemization and Web3 and decentralization. And now I'm talking about micro, macro, exo, concepts of systems and design, and how things spiral outwards, and how that's going to connect to that in the future, and how that's going to bring that to life, and how that's amazing. And do you know you're on the money? It was really early days for both of us in our business, and I was still studying and working out where I wanted to go or didn't want to go, how big I wanted to be in this world of decentralization. And it was nice to be able to kind of be inspirational in that moment and go, wow, you know you're doing amazing things, right? Like, this is humongous for you. Do you know how big this arena is that's just opening up? Like, Web3's not even a thing yet. DC's not even a thing yet. Like, it was exciting to meet someone and connect with someone who was so aligned to me. It showed me like attracts like. It showed me where the world was going, and we only went on a couple dates and disparted after that. But it's the experiences that you do have that go, whoa, green light, whoa, epiphany, whoa, we're really here in the arena, you know? We're like, this is a hustling, bustling ecosystem of change. And the point of that story is, it's the people that you start meeting in your reality, whether it's for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, that start presenting with these qualities that let you know you're on the right path. And then you start clocking your net worth. Because after that, I started clocking the potential for him and where he can go financially. And I was like, wow, it's nice to meet you. You know, like there was a lot more humbleness and a lot more respect, because it's like, we're independent and we just came to have a date and kind of flirt with each other. But kudos, respect, because you're going somewhere, and long term, if you really do take this up and go that way, your net worth's going to be great. My net worth's going to be great too. But I'm in the moon and you're in the moon. So we're going to go our own ways and keep mooning, because let's keep it real, we've got a lot of fucking work to do. The revolution has only just begun. But this shit is fun as fuck, yeah? So Queen of Wands, King of Pentacles, that's kind of the example I'm giving you today as well. It's meeting other people in your line of work. Meeting other people that seem to stumble onto your net. You've catched someone in your nets. Oh, it's gorgeous, because now I'm getting the vision in my head of a mermaid. Splash, one of my favourite movies of all time. Go and watch Splash if you haven't seen it. Actually, it's not even in Splash, it's in another movie, but Splash comes to mind. It's in Charmed, an episode of Charmed in early seasons. There's loads of movies where they accidentally catch a mermaid, is my point. I'm connecting with a mermaid, basically, who is about to be caught in a net. Now, that is a travesty and a disaster in 99.9%. of cases, a mermaid being caught in a net is endgame. But in this instance, there's a mermaid, male or female. Mermen do exist. They're incredibly sexy. Let's say that. And you're going to get caught in a net. And you're going to get wheeled up and put onto the boat. And they're going to cut open the net. And they're going to discover you. And they are going to be an elite team of absolute fucking... I wanted to say heathens, to be honest with you. And then I was like, don't say it. Hold it in. Find a nice word. Too late. It flew out. Absolute fucking heathens. In the worst of ways and the best of ways, because that's what life is meant to be. And I say that as a laugh and a joke because every single one of these is authentic and hands down integritous, honest. Every single one of, we're not going to go into the characters of these people specifically, but what the divine's giving me in relation to the red root chakra. They've all got their root chakra tapped in. They're all grounded. They're all financially stable, whether they think so or not. Everybody here is coming in at ground zero. And they're prepared to build for the next decade, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Because what they're building is decentralized and independent and stably grounded and not infringing. Is that the right word? Let me know in the comments. Infringing on a central executive to survive. Hold on. There's a whole army of cats I now own and they are fighting. Whoa. So many people on this planet are just looking for a safe place to be themselves. You included. And you are now beginning to see the fruits of your labour. It's interesting to me because the moon is still here. So it suggests to me that you're still largely unseen and still will remain largely unseen if that's what you desire and wish for. Because now you have an army to do that heavy bidding for you. And this isn't negative, this isn't antagonistic, this isn't a resistance or a rebellion. It's students that are in the field doing the work whilst you are the actual professor. So in my head I get, you see a professor who takes on doctorates and PhD students. They're all going to be taking on the mission to study different aspects of whatever it is, but it's all going to fall underneath your name. But you haven't then got to do all of those things. You haven't got to be in all of these spaces. And I guess some of these research projects are a little more radical, you know, because I'm seeing two people in this kind of crowd that stand out to me more than anything else. Can we be nice to each other? I know we are all adjusting to this new enhanced family, but you don't need to be rude. Cats are struggling to bond with this new environment, territory thing. But that's what we've got here is you as the professor, yeah, take that as that resonates, professor. You have a range of students that are now branching out. This gives me a professor who does something like biology, but has now got students heading off into very different fields. Different mechanical solutions, different designs, different ways to study moleculars. So we're looking at cross and interdisciplinary branches of science and fieldwork coming together. A lot of fieldwork that often wouldn't get scholarships, wouldn't get sponsored, wouldn't get funding, but now they are. And your allies, your team, your network are really about the mission. And why this is gorgeous is because every single person, like I said here, is rooted and grounded in their own solution. Like, so we've got biology, we've got chemistry, we've got physics, we've got cryptocurrency, engineering of different kinds. We're looking at biology as the core of all of this research, right? We're looking at the nucleus, the nuclei, yeah? but we've got everyone else branching off in their unique way. And this is kind of how we discover universal law. This is where we all start to become our own molecular, our own variable, our own derivatives. And really that discovery starts to create or formalize matter, begins to polymerize, yeah? Because this feels really weird as a reading for me to be so off cuff and go here, but I can't use any other words here with you guys other than my mother tongue and the truest vision I'm getting, and that's that. You know, it's a really out there concept, and everybody in this team is absolutely fucking amazing in their own right. Yeah? And whoever the professor is who's taken on this mission is amazing, because I think someone is scouting for I want to say the next best thing. But they're scouting for a team, I feel like. A team of 12, a team of 16, a team of 19. I think the team was starting off as a team of 3. Then it went to 4, 6, 12, 18, 19. And now we're at like 23 and it's growing. And that wasn't the initial intent. But you can see what happens. It's like the Big Fat Bang Theory. It's about electrons, photons, protons, ions, chakras, string theory. It's one piece, one variable, one atom, one distinct discipline that now starts to open up into so much more. And I don't know how much you're going to resonate with that example. I am the founder of Hermitology. Check out hermitology.me. We specialize in the molecular sciences. We are stepping into the arenas of universal law, and these are my tarot decks, my cards. This is my vision. So I'm only going to give you what I see. So feel free to elaborate on that in the comments, how it transverses into your reality. Yeah? But it's a beautiful experience is what I can see. With the title being Clocking Your Net Worth, and me just giving you that merman, merwoman capture, it's gorgeous, because on one hand I'm speaking to the person that's being captured, yet I'm also talking to somebody who is capturing. So or captivating. So what I'm seeing is really beautiful, reciprocal, loving vibration. Like attracts like, love attracts love. Hasn't got to be romantic. Love in its purest form is the highest frequency and vibration of all. And it's what makes this team stable. These individuals will go off in their own right and be professors, be credible assets to humanity, make real life changes, and be commanders in chiefs of their own shuttle, their own reality, their own worlds, in major ways. I want to talk about digital worlds, but I want to talk about branches of science and schools of science and education systems, industry, sector. I want to talk about news anchors, journalists. I want to talk about the possibility for every single person here to be themselves. More than anything else, I want to speak about penny universities more than anything else now, because I've got that synchronistically this week too. Penny universities from the 17th and 18th century, coffee houses in England, yeah? Penny universities they were called. And they were a space for great minds, intellects to come together and converse, compensate, develop ideas. In a penny university, Newton developed some of his greatest work, you know? And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing a really simplistic experience where great minds can come together and create. And the facilitator of this is amazing, because he's starting to let, and I want to say male or female in that, right? But then I didn't want to say that either, so potentially masculine or masculine energy. We've got masculine energy, feminine energy, balanced out beautifully here is the point. Energies. So with that, this energy is allowing the blind spot of the creator, the blind spot of the innovator, to come online, to be genuinely seen. We're talking about alchemy at a whole new level, yeah? We're talking about manifestations, belief systems, spirituality. We're talking about coming online. There's so much concepts. I can't remember the first time, potentially 2017, I started going around talking to some of my dearest and closest friends and saying, I'm coming online, we're coming online. It was a terminology I used over and over again, just like the way we use downloads. I've received a download. I'm getting downloads from spirit. I'm online with the upper echelon, with the divine. Sometimes I used to say I've got the divine on the blower, in reference to me receiving information from my archangels and ascended masters from higher planes of consciousness. So we're talking about activation, we're talking about spiritual awakening. When we're talking about the blind spot, we're talking about past lives, soul contracts, Akashic records being unlocked. I went through a phase where I spoke frequently about unlocking areas on a map. I used to play Mario Kart all the time, and then you have to unlock Mirror Cup. You have to unlock 50cc and 150cc at the very basic earliest levels of the game. So you have to unlock new carts and new characters, yeah? In any game you play, you have to go into the lobby and certain areas on the map are locked out. Grand Theft Auto, Black Ops, Gran Turismo, yeah? Need for Speed. Classic games, you need to unlock the map, the areas on the map, the different cars and trucks. Someone in real life is unlocking humans' consciousness, unlocking humans' hidden assets, catching. Wow. I have been screaming about blue ocean strategy for maybe about a year and a half in a personal context. I just put out a reading about it titled Sinking Under the Pressure last week, where we dove a little bit into blue ocean strategy, and I gave my opinions on Sam Altman and the state of the economy now, and a corporation kind of teetering and tottering between financial stability and what financial ruin would look like versus an uncharted ship out at sea, which is obviously a very silly and controversial conversation to have at this time based on the events at large in the world. May we send love, light and healing energy to everyone around the world wrapped up in war and toxicity at this time, okay? But let's stay focused on where we're at today, because it's very separate to that, and we get the luxury of talking about blue ocean strategy a little bit more in relation to you being the mermaid. I'm talking to somebody, right, who has assessed the blue ocean, assessed built their own net, assessed the net, assessed the seas, studied the seas, and is now out there catching loads and loads of different creatures, water animals. These water animals are dependent. They're mystical creatures that can survive and sustain life by themselves. And what's beautiful about this is that I'm talking to some of you guys who are indeed the creature being saved, while some of you guys are the professor or are the ones reeling the creature in off the boat. You're playing this is a two-tailed narrative, because you're doing both. Any great entrepreneur, businessman or woman is doing both, because every time you evolve and ascend, you open the door for others in that process, because it's like, come in, my friend, you are one, we are one. This is the evolution, the subtle and the spacecraft, the higher dimensions, the enlightened realms, because once you are then activated and on board, you become the creator of your own ship and shuttle, because then you're given the resources you need to go off and become your own craftsman or sailor of the seas. Do you get what I mean? There's a whole army out at sea saving everybody trapped in the water who's just there dying out. We've got mermaids all over the place, mermen and women all over the place with their siren songs just singing out there on rocks, lonely and longing for community and purpose. Yeah, and they're going to be given that now. I know this is such a metaphor, guys. Stay with me. This is a humongous concept coming through in my mind from a really grounded stance of education and intellect and agency. And that's interdependence as well, interagency, where you're working with self and other in a business, somewhat corporate stance, but some of you small to medium-sized businesses, enterprises, charities, startups, yeah, founders who are just coming through with a concept, don't know where to go. Some people with ICOs, some people with their own PhD philosophy. Everyone's got their dream and their vision. Everyone's got their own unique philosophy on life or how to make money, how to live. Everyone's building and designing their own dream reality. And there's some people out here now, more and more, that are coming in going, oh my goodness, pull the net up, we've caught another one. And it's not the evil one that's going to catch you and chop off your tail and sell it at the auction. The ones we've been hiding out from. It's the ones that are saying, come on, get in quick. We're going to fix you up and send you on your own. And now you're one of us. Go and do you. Go travel wherever you want to travel and live however you want to live. But we'll give you the resources. All you've got to do is make sure you keep bringing our people back to us. Get all of our people in here. Now get them on. Get them out the sea. The sea's getting toxic. Yeah? Fucking hell, AI's here, AGI's here. We need to get all of our earth angels and mermen and women out of the sea. We need to get our people aboard quick, right? That's what I get here. And it's kind of like before, we haven't been seen, we haven't been out there with the moon because we've been trying to have strength. Because our concepts, our ideas, our way of living, not right. I want to say too left, yeah? Too foreign affairs. I feel like a lot of people could have been blocked through foreign affairs, relations with others, maybe racial, cultural, ethnic divides, like inability to even immerse yourself in other cultures. So some of you guys may need to study and read up about different religion or different cultures or get comfortable with different people. I know it sounds silly, but some people are uncomfortable with other races if they haven't really been around them. They don't know how to mix or meld or engage or just kind of chill in circumstances if they're used to being really rigid. And it's about learning to experience different culture and different cuisine, different food, and you don't have to like it, you don't have to be fake or act a certain way, but you do have to choose to show up, you know, because we're unlocking a whole load of money. That's what I see. A lot of money is being unlocked for a lot of people, and it is justice. And it looks like, once again, there's a key player here, a King of Pentacles, a leading professor. And it's male or female, because this whole happens. I gave you the story, didn't I, about the date I went on that was very simple, that opened up real consciousness into the Web3 and DC era and how we're all on the same train. And that's when I really started going, you're doing that, you're doing that, you're doing that. Like it was just beautiful awakening that everyone I knew, even the guys I'm dating at this time, unintentionally so, because we didn't have those kind of conversations at the beginning, I didn't know that at the time, we're all on the same boat. We're all coming up out of the sea. And it's that revelation that is worth acknowledging. And it's justice. Because now we can start to see, and we can see why we've chosen what we've chosen. For me, I get a lot of conversation with the Moon card and the Page of Swords about being unseen, being hidden, being undercover. And it's not like you're hiding out, and it gives me a little bit of hermit energy, but it's like you're not going to budge from where you're meant to be going. Yeah? It gives me, like I said, siren. It gives me siren energy. So you're singing out and screaming out for what you want and need. You're sharing your narrative, your agenda. You're not going to start singing a brand new song because that's going to attract people. You're not clickbait. You're not clouting. And you're not clowning. You're about your shit. Do you get what I mean? You're not clowning around. This isn't clickbait here. If you clickbait, you would get more views. If you were the jester and you were clowning around, you could potentially get more attention. This isn't a clout quest. This is a integritous mission. The blueprint is already all over your body, tattooed head to toe. You know who you are and where you're going and what you're doing and what your mission is. The blind spot isn't you. The blind spot is the fact that nobody can see you who isn't one with you. And that's how we like it, believe it or not. Because it isn't about mass appeal. It's about real. What fascinates me about the Money Heist card as we exit and get ready to leave, can you see the light lines that are shining down on the people? It looks like all of these people are underwater. I've just noticed that. That's what my eyes have been drawn to. It looks like all of these people are submerged underwater, and the way that the lines are just, the layering of light hits these kind of characters. It's like they're just underground, yeah? They're deep underground. But they're not underground in a place that is barren and dry. They are nourished. They are surrounded by massive, massive net worths. This gives me BTC. This gives me massive financial assets and a real slow heist towards financial freedom. Every single one of these people is financially free right now because they're living in this way. So that definitely gives me BTC. It definitely gives me where this decentralization, this money, cryptocurrency, the world we're living in. And when I say heist, we'll clarify it. Every single person here is living clean by the book. Integrity on point. So there's no issue here. There's no crime here. But there is an awareness of what's happening in the world legally, with crime, with money, with net worth, with big banking, with, I want to say, big pharma. With like for example, someone here is going to focus on big pharma. Someone here is going to focus on crypto. Someone here is going to focus on quantum mechanics. Someone's going to focus on field engineering. Someone's going to focus on Christianity. It's just different layers upon layers on layers. They're not even the right examples I'm giving you, because it's way more niche than that. It's way more unique than that, and it's such a unique mission. Yeah. So with all of that, it is about clocking in every day, clocking in consistently at the right time, keeping an accurate record with time-stamped logs, and clocking who is and isn't synchronistically aligned to you in the process. Yeah, that's the advice I kind of wanted to give, because it's giving clocking. And keep clocking how this is working for you. Keep valuing everybody around you and the contributions that they bring. And see yourself as not only the professor, but the Jane Doe in the experience. Because to somebody out there, you are the Jane Doe. They don't know who the fuck you are. But to others, you are also the professor. So be the professor. And be willing to change hats and roles. Because you have... Goodness sake, be careful! No! We're going to go because the cats are really starting to get antsy, and I've never worked this late with the three of them, so they're having a difficult time to understand what they should be doing at this time. whilst I'm in the space, because they're like territorial now, like, I want to be here. Okay, but you don't need to know that, but now you do. Take care of yourself, guys. Yeah? Really, really take care of yourself and value the positions that you're in. Value that you're all quite similar in your mind frame of being integrous and in the background, off grid. You're preparing for the world that you know is right for you, and how that looks for you is incredibly unique. And all of you have different ideas, different dreams, different missions, but you are all that Jane Doe and that professor of your own reality. And it's about your ability to see that in relation to the others. We are all one and the same, but sometimes you're that Jane Doe. So how can you transverse that Jane Doe relationship with everybody you meet so they can see the professor within you? And how can you give every Jane Doe you meet the opportunity to become the professor to you? Because we all have amazing gifts and abilities to share with each other. Yeah? Greatest asset is being open, honest and vulnerable and showing up as you in any room, in any instance, because then you get to really be an experience. It's beautiful for me to do tarot with readers, and why I feel like I am amazing today is because I get to sit with people of all kind and just do a tarot reading and embrace their energy and they embrace mine, and we go to places deep and we have much deeper, meaningful conversations than we would talking about the weather or the latest TV show or what came up on the news. We go to the depths of the soul, we go to dream and ambition, and that's why I am the way I am in life, because most of my conversations for a long lengthy window of time were about having that deeper heartfelt moment with a person, diving into the symbolism and the context of life, and as a result that allowed me to find me and see me in others and allow others to see me and see themselves in me, and us to decide what is one and the same here. What is the Jane Doe in me and the empty parts of me that I don't see, yeah? Versus the parts of me that are fully formed and professor-like, yeah? Because we're talking about high intellect with a professor versus no awareness of self as Jane Doe. Where are you on that spectrum, and what brings that up? What areas are you strong at? What areas are you weak at? And what areas could you advance? Because your net worth is the most beautiful thing about you right now, whether it's zero or not. Because I'm talking to a collective that's starting at zero, root chakra. You are grounded, and that's the beautiful thing here. It's not about the clout and the extra. Whether you've got billions, whether you've got zero, whether you've got millions, hundreds, whatever it is, for you personally, this is your stable ground. Your starting point, your root chakra. It only goes up from here. Because what you have worked on besides that amount is your integrity, your morals, your self-worth. You've been building other elements, that's the point. You didn't pull up over here with a centralized construct. You came here with a decentralized mission, and it's starting to pay off. Don't give up, guys. Because you not being seen is indeed the greatest asset of all. Because the ones that now see you are genuinely for you. And that is way better than being surrounded by all the extra shit that you definitely don't need. Where you're going in the future, it's going to be so rich and prosperous because it's going to be wrapped in authenticity. You are like, I'm connecting with a lot of people that are protected by God, and you're like, I want to say you're shrouded in darkness. And then when you move through that darkness, there's nothing but light. So someone's kind of put there's a deterrent around you that makes no one go near you. Or like you're like an anomaly. You're like just a random black ball floated in the atmosphere that people will just look at and walk past. But if someone was to touch it, put their hand in it, or look inside of it, they would see the beauty and prosperousness of it all and the light of it all. But it's best to keep it shrouded and hidden and make it look this way, because it's safe that way. It's giving me Jane Doe not knowing who she is. Let's keep her hidden and secret for as long as possible, because we must protect the merman, the merwoman, the earth angel. It's like people that take elephant's tusks and crocodile's tooth. We have to protect the endangered species. I'm connecting with endangered species. We can't afford to go extinct. We're rare. I'm talking to a rare collective that is coming together and seeking out more rares. I'm talking about rares in Pokemon. How many Pokemon cards are in a deck? Do you think we give a fuck about any of them that are not a rare? We keep buying more Pokemon cards because we want the rare. This is nothing but a game of rare. Hunting for the rare. That's why we keep ourselves hidden. That's why we're not out here gassing it up. Because we know that we're rare. And rare recognizes rare. And it gets really interesting in future, because all these rares start coming up. All these rares start coming together. And it's a beautiful journey of integrity, decentralization, development of communities and ecosystems, technology, research, abundance, wealth, love, light, prosperity, healing, independence, interdependence, partnerships, collaborations. Like, I see a hustling, bustling ecosystem of it's just magnificence, right? It's magnificent, yet it's so not what the popular kids would see as significant, is what I want to say. Which, it gives me a prophecy for the future as well, I'll be honest. It makes me feel like what everyone chases now for, like, virality and traction, and how everyone wants to live their life now because they feel like this is the way and this is how they're going to make money. It isn't, because the real winners are here, and they're all choosing the moon, which is a private life through decentralization. And they're the real ones with the real awareness of the net, and they're the ones that are free to sell the seas. There's so many more people that are going to be trapped by centralization than I could ever have imagined. And I think I dismiss it because they're happy. But I think they're happy playing these clouty roles or doing all this stuff on social media platforms. But I think there's going to be a toll it takes, or a shift eventually in our lives over the next decade, over the next 20 years, definitely, where we're really going to see what decentralization does for the man and woman versus what centralization does for the man and woman. And although it's going to be such a different paradigm of existence, you will really see the prosperity of it all. And it's fascinating because it shows you that the ones that are really ready and prepared to do the hard work have already been doing it, and their root chakras are locked in. And it's the ones here in this heist card that are prepared to really go through the hard graft for years and years and years through a decentralized route than those that chase centralization. It's beautiful. It excites me to think about the future and what that's really going to look like for all of us in our own unique ways, because it really does show heart. This is such a beautiful reading about the heart of man and woman versus thirsty chasing currency and trying to be celebrity or rich or anything like that. It's a beautiful spirit wins in the end. I hope that makes sense, guys. That was an awkward one. These guys are having an absolute nightmare. Just chill. Just chill, we're done. Okay, I know you're tired, but I had to do a reading. I know it's late now. Namaste, guys. Namaste.